theme of the second session is development for the future in global aspect. And it will continue through the whole night via the online. And the speakers from ITPP in SNU and ITTP in KAIST, we share their perspectives for their development for the future based on their experience and knowledge. And due to the time limitation, we will finish all the presentation first, and let's see whether we have some spare time to have a Q&A session. So our first speaker is Mr. Siheung from ITPP. And please welcome Mr. Gerana with a round of applause.
Hello. Good afternoon. Thank you, Professor Siheung, for your introduction. Thank you, everyone. My name is Siheung. I am from Adama Science and Technology University in Ethiopia. And you may hear this Adama Science and Technology University now and then because we have very great collaboration with Korea, and there are reasons for that. So in my today's presentation, I will focus on the collaboration related issues. So this will be my short outline. I will introduce briefly about my country, Ethiopia, and why Korea and Ethiopia are collaborating. And the collaboration is mainly in the education sector that I focus because I'm from the university. And some achievements and the future collaboration plans will be checked in my presentation. So Ethiopia is located here, and with some basic statistics, why Ethiopia is important for collaboration is some of the factors that is located in this slide in the eastern part of Africa with a population of 110 plus million people. So the Ethiopia is known for the origin of mankind, and of course rich in various resources. So we had a bilateral political system. The prime minister is the head of government, and the president is head of state in my country. So to 2019, our prime minister awarded a Nobel Peace Prize, one of the greatest achievements. And Ethiopia is also well known by its coffee, and the coffee is of fantastic taste, and the fifth largest coffee producers in the world. And we can say the altitude is very high and compared to above sea level compared to many countries. So the point is the collaboration between Korea and Ethiopia started back 1950s, and we categorize Ethiopia and Korea as a blood brotherhood. There is a blood brother between because we were engaged in the Korean War to support South Korea. So the collaboration starts back then, and still working on that as well. And these collaborations, again, reaffirmed by the current leaders by signing additional collaboration projects, including EDCF projects, which was signed last year between our Prime Minister and President Moon Jae. So this was the issue that we experienced last year. And why education? Because in Ethiopia, we have two ministries working for education, the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Science and Higher Education. Because of the number of students in the school, including the higher education, the ministry to handle this issue are two ministries. So around 28 million students are in school by now, even though interrupted by COVID, and will be relaunched by next week. So the need for having collaboration in the education sector is also because of this fact. And of course, there are also issues why in the engineering area, because of we have a policy of education policy of the nation as 70% for science and engineering and 30% for social sciences. And of course, we have also universities categorized into research universities, applied universities, science and technology university, and general universities. So I am from the Science and Technology University. There are only two science and technology universities. One of it's my university. So as to support these collaborations with German government, we had a collaboration in the engineering capacity building collaborations in two phases to strengthen the university reform, especially in IoT's Institute of Technologies were reformed. And of course, there are also issues in the TVT program reform in the private sectors. And of course, this is my university gates. Is the Adama Science Technology University, found like 100 kilometers from the capital. And it passed through different, it was originally established as technical and vocational college, and the latter upgraded to university, and then to Science and Technology University with a change in mandate. We had foreign leaders from Germany in this university and from Korea. So the Korean professor that Professor Siheung introduced this morning led for 5 years and had a lot of achievements, including some collaborations. Most of the collaborations came into reality after this ties between the two countries. So this is a new president after Professor Lee. Of course, I will come to what the achievement is. So he was a vice president of the university when Professor Lee was leading the university. And there are a number of achievements made during Professor Lee, and even currently also there are a number of achievements, especially in SNU and the KAIST. We have a lot of faculty members studying their PhD and the masters, more than 16 PhD faculty trained in Korea. And we were having also a tandem dean, in case some of you may not know. Like we have two deans in the college, one Korean dean and one Ethiopian dean. So that system was called the tandem dean, and we have more than 35 Korean universities and institution collaborations. And there are short-term and long-term training, and of course, Korean professors are working in Ethiopian Center of Excellence in ASTU. So this is one of the fruits, achievements of the collaboration. During post-established the material science and engineering program with well-furnished state-of-the-art laboratory. So this was during the inauguration. The Deputy Prime Minister was next to Professor Lee, also inaugurated. And I can also present, this is the Koika e-learning studio facility. And of course, this helped a lot this year, especially after this pandemic, because all the classes became online, and then, therefore, this studio helped in producing online content and teach during this challenging time. And this was me leading this center as a director, and of course, briefing the Korean parliament delegations to our university. And the closing sessions, the Quito Addis Ababa head office and leaders, directors ambassadors were visiting every time there are a number of collaborations. I can mention some of them. And that are the fruits. Here is Professor Huang. He came to Ethiopia twice and where we met. And he established TMAP in my university. And TMAP is now 2 years, very young. Here it is almost 27 years. So as a part of that, we are here to get experience and go back and teach. And Professor Huang was there twice to sign and to review the curriculum as well, to launch the program. And the program by now accepted two batches for PhD and one batch for masters. And going well, and hopefully in the near future, Professor Huang will teach one course through Zoom as per my information. So this is the site for the Center of Excellence Preparation that I wanted to brief. This is one of the building in this site, in the right side, and the whole site is in the left side. Around 6 buildings for including residences for professors and of course guests during the establishment. The building is almost 95% plus is ready. And the process of launching this Center of Excellence and facilitating is underway with Korean universities, with SNU. So we are working, Professor Wang and Professor Yoon is working hard to realize this. And to briefly mention what those Center of Excellences are, Center for Advanced Manufacturing, and there are issues that we expect from SNU and other universities. So the collaborations, because the university will establish this Center of Excellences to upgrade and to change somehow the way we are doing. And of course, we can imagine in developing countries there are a number of challenges to overcome this challenge. We need Korean experience and working closely. And we have also the Transport and the Vehicle Engineering Center of Excellence. And there are a number of aspects going on, and discussions are underway to strengthen and work in these areas for research and collaborations. And we have also materials, Advanced Materials Science and Engineering Center of Excellence, that because of time, I will not actually read one. There are many requirements to joint collaborations, research, and staff development. And of course, we have also Electrical Systems, Electronic Center of Excellence, that we aspire to have some standard like SNU and others. So we are working on this as well. And Institute of Pharmaceutical Science, also one of the Center of Excellence, we will be launching with collaboration with SNU. So these are some of the issues that I want to mention. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kasaun, for your presentation. Yes, the education and capacity building is the most important pillar for the development for the future. And we are very glad to know that there are many activities going on between Korea and Ethiopia, and hope we can strengthen those collaboration for the future development in Ethiopia. Okay, thank you, Kasaun. And our next speaker is Mr. Abdul Karim from ITTP in KAIST. He is the senior researcher, Ministry of Public Works in Afghanistan.
Time my presentation, so I don't take more time. So let me set a timer. Okay. My name is Firuz. I have a very strong relationship with Korea, both academically, personally, and professionally. In fact, I came here in 2010 as a 19-year-old kid. I did my bachelor's, master's, and now I'm doing a PhD. I have also some experience in Korea, and back in my country before coming here, I worked for the president of my country and then for the Ministry of Transport, and before coming to KAIST. I'm fluent in 5 languages, but it's not because I'm a genius, it is just the circumstances that have forced me to learn the language. Academically, my interests are digital transformation, sustainability, and social media. Socially, I'm interested in running, cooking, and fashion designing. Where I'm from is called Afghanistan, and probably you heard of it from the news, which we have dominated, unfortunately, for the wrong reasons. However, whatever that you have heard is probably true. I'm not going to deny it. We have a country that is blessed with natural beauty comparable to that of New Zealand. Our history is very rich, and the artifacts tell the tales of the past, our complex past. The exquisite features of our people, the apparel and the ornaments, are the culmination of complex social fabrics that originated long ago and have since been evolved. In fact, history shows that life began in Afghanistan about 50,000 years ago. Since then, a series of events happened that has shaped the modern Afghanistan. It includes the introduction of Islam in 1870, and then the 1717, the establishment of modern Afghan state. In 1919, after the departure of British, the country was on its way to modernization. And this is what we looked like in 1950s. Our country was on its way to modernize. We very much looked like a European society in the 1970s. If we had gone this path, our country would be the same as Korea. But things took a very unfortunate turn for us, and we were caught between a great game between superpowers, and everything was destroyed. And then in 2002, we call this, after 2001, the US-led NATO mission brought a democratic system. I'm mentioning you these things because this is very important for you to understand where we were, where we are, and where we are headed. So all the progress that we have made so far is just 19 years old, after 2002 up till now. Okay, so in that time, when a new system was installed, a lot of money was coming into the country in the form of foreign aid, and also the Afghan diaspora who lived abroad and then they returned to their country to invest. So the government thought that it would be a good time to actually build a strategy. So they developed a strategy called Afghanistan National Development Strategy. This strategy, of course, has since been expanded, and it is more comprehensive now. There are 3 sectors that are strategically very important, and that could actually save our future generations. So that is why I have chosen these 3 sectors to convey to you how we are preparing for the future. And these include the mining sector, the natural resources, the transcontinental sector, and connectivity, and ICT sector. Okay, so our country is blessed with natural resources. It includes gold, copper, lithium. In fact, it is called the Saudi Arabia of lithium because the deposits are huge. And especially the rare earth metals are very important because they're used in every modern equipment you can think of, you can imagine. In fact, the US Geological Survey says that Afghanistan has 1 trillion worth of mineral resources. And let me tell you something, this is just the tip of the iceberg. They just covered some parts of the country, and they did an aerial assessment, and it is estimated to be $1 trillion. I mean, imagine what the rest of the country holds. So, in a sense, if we are able to extract the resources, our economy would be bigger than the economies of Malaysia, Singapore, and the Philippines combined, just alone by one sector. And to make that a reality, the government, through the Ministry of Mines and Petroleum, is trying hard to attract investment, because we do have natural resources, but we do not have the equipment and skill to actually extract them. That is why the ministry offers a variety of licenses and contracts for foreign companies seeking to invest in the mines of Afghanistan. What they have done is they have taken the country and divided it into multiple sectors in according to the infrastructure, the security situation, so you could choose where you want to go. And they provide you license and contracts ranging from 2 years to 5 years, and depending on the coverage of the area, they provide it. And the whole process is really transparent because everything is available on the website. And then for the sake of transparency, they try hard to attract investors. So far, the companies that have shown interest are from India, mainly India, China, and Turkey. But of course, we hope that Korean companies will also be involved. The next sector is transcontinental trade and connectivity. This sector is very important, and it could actually be strategically be good for our development because of our location. Our location is connects Central Asia to South Asia all the way to Europe. When I was working for the president, this is what he used to say about the connectivity sector of Afghanistan. And his vision has actually routes in the past. In the past, we used to be at the center of the Silk Road, ancient Silk Road. But there is still a chance that we could reclaim that position and be the new roundabout for transcontinental trade. For this purpose, the Ministry of Transport and the Ministry of Public Works, where I'm from, where I used to work, these two ministries, they conceptualized a strategy, national transport strategy, in which I was involved personally before coming here. And then according to this strategy, we sort of recalibrated the whole transport sector and see how we can fit the president's vision in this in order to achieve our goal of becoming a regional player in trade and connectivity. So a part of the vision became reality when the government opened this route, Lapis Lazuli route, which connects Afghanistan through Turkey to Europe. So these 5 countries, they were involved in connecting Afghanistan to Europe, and there are potential actually to expand it further into North Europe and all the way to Scandinavia, and then up north to Kazakhstan and Russia, and then east from Pakistan, India, all the way to Thailand, even Korea. So you can see the potential is really here, but we just need to capitalize on that, and the government has strong political will to do that. But before we could do that, we are now relying on the air corridors. The countries which are, we don't have a sea, our country is landlocked. We don't have access to sea, but we do have air. So through air, we are like connecting with the rest of the world to exchange goods and services. And thanks to this connectivity, the world is finally developing an appetite for our signature national products like precious stones and gems, the Afghan rugs, they're some of the best in the world, and also our medicinal herbs like saffron, etc. But of course, this is not the end. We would like to go further and deeper and wider. And the government is committed to expand the air corridors, develop the infrastructure. In fact, the infrastructure sector is the mandate of the ministry where I am from. And my mission to choose ITTP was because of this. So I could connect Korean companies to work in the infrastructure development in my country. Okay, this brings me to the third sector, ICT sector. And of course, when you compare us to South Korea, I mean, the progress is nothing, because South Korea is way ahead of us. But still, in the past 19 years, I told you, like after 2001 or 2002, the progress that happened in Afghanistan in this sector is unprecedented. It is just wonderful. I mean, even regionally, we are now competing with some of the countries which had who are way ahead of us. I mean, when we started, I mentioned this the other day when I was giving presentation in KAIS, that when we just started working on the ICT sector, South Korea was already talking about smart technology and cyber Korea. But for the past 19 years, we were able to sort of, we rose from the ashes, and then we developed something which was impossible to achieve in 19 years. This is just the soft infrastructure. In terms of hard infrastructure, we also, the government was able to install a fiber optics network and also provide the cell coverage throughout the country. So this progress is pretty amazing. But of course, this is not the end. We have to go further and farther, you know. And in the government and in Afghanistan, the public sector, the entities that are involved in this sector are, of course, the Ministry of Communication, and then we have some private and public corporation as well. And we also have some foreign telecom operators. So this actually, like, you know, in many countries you wouldn't see a foreign telecom operator, but we actually provide them the means to come and invest in there, because there is potential and we cannot do the development alone. So Okay, so the government thought like, okay, now we have built something, let's build upon it more. So the current digital strategy is how do we digitalize Afghanistan to match the rest of the countries who are far ahead of us? How do we do that? In order to sort of make their dream a reality, the government worked on a strategy, the Ministry of Communication especially, which has three main components, the institutional reforms, citizen services, and stimulating growth. Let me expand on that a little. By institutional reform, what I mean is we have a big problem, that is corruption. I mean, corruption is pervasive, it's everywhere, right? But we have that problem in institutions because it has sort of become a culture. And that is the problem. So the government says, okay, other strategies are not working, so let's utilize ICT and see what it can do in terms of combating corruption and bringing reforms to the institutions. So what they did is they have been successful in installing some information systems which have somehow brought transparency into the bureaucratic practices. I witnessed this myself. In 2009, when I made my first passport, can you believe that our passport was handwritten? And now in 2019, it is considered to be one of the best in the region. So just in a short time, the government has been able to really achieve a lot in the bureaucracy through ICT, by employing the ICT technologies. Okay, and also citizens are now enjoying a wide variety of services. This even include like some religious services like e-Hajj. So this is like pilgrimage service. So the government actually, the strategy here is to utilize citizenry in order to create a greater like infrastructure development, and which will help not only in the short term but in the long term to the country. Now finally, before I conclude my presentation, I would like to say that the four sectors that currently offers unique opportunities for collaboration in Afghanistan are these. And Korean companies are the best candidate because South Korea has somewhat same experiences as us. They had a war and then they recovered from it, and then they sort of built their country from the scratch. So that is why I think it is a very good opportunity for South Korean companies to come into my country and invest. And let me tell you, is there security risk? Yes. But are there mechanisms to deal with it? Absolutely. I mean, people come and work there all the time. So there is nothing to be afraid of or anything. So South Korean companies, they should come and invest. This is why I'm here. This is why you are here. This is why all of us are here. Let us embrace collaboration and build a future for the next generation, and they will thank us for it, as I thank you for listening to my presentation.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Abdul Karim, for your presentation. And you mentioned about three important, aspects for the development future in Afghanistan, and also thank you for sharing some opportunities for the future collaboration. But actually, I was going to ask you, Karim, to speak in Korean, right? How long have you been in Korea? Right, so I think you must, speak in Korean, just like Korean, right? Thank you anyway. All right, so our next speaker is George Herman from ITPP in SNU. He is the ICT Governance Coordinator in Ecuadorian Social Security Institute. Let's welcome him with a big round of applause.
Okay, thank you, Professor Jung, for your introduction. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today I wish to present you a topic that is getting importance, in special nowadays time when we are struggling against the effects of the coronavirus pandemic. So I wish to present you my topic, that is urban agriculture as a factor of resilience in cities in transition. The agenda that I plan to follow is shown. Let me start with some interesting information about some interesting topics. So, according to the United Nations research, it's expected that in the next 30 years, the world population will increase in 2 million, starting from 7.7 billion of inhabitants to 9.7 billion of inhabitants by the 2050. And also in parallel, it is expected that the regions that experiment the most population growth will be those regions where the developing countries are. For example, the regions like the Sub-Sahara or the Latin America and the Caribbean region will experience this increment of population. Also, in the same way, all that population will occupy the urban areas. Most of people will live in urban areas by the 2050. This increment in the population also will create an issue that is related to the food provision. According to the study, it is expected that it is required to raise the food production at least of 70% by the 2050. So it is a big issue. So the question is how to feed urban population. We will be a lot of people in urban areas. How will we eat it? So for that, we have to think in cities as a live organism that is in constant transition, constant evolution, and constant change. So, of course, the issues that nowadays the cities are facing are not the same that the issues that cities faces in the past or will face in the future. Nowadays, our issues are related with the climate change, poverty, lack of social interactions in communities, hunger, or the oil dependency. For that, the cities also are adapting, are changing, are becoming resilient. For that, in cities are developing projects, are changing their developing plans, with projects like the e-mobility, smart energy, or urban agriculture. But how to achieve the desired resilience? For me, the most important is to give the voice to the citizens, but also it's not only question for give the voice to the citizens, also it's needed to listen to the citizens. So this basic movement allows to the cities administrators to change their cities planning in order to get a better distribution of all the resources and services available in the city. Also will provide a better redistribution of the wealth in the cities. In cities also, a factor that is important is the transportation. The transportation also must change, not only for transport people, also we have to start to thinking about how to transport food for provide citizens enough food. So that changes also allows to change the lifestyles of all the citizens, allows us to reorganize the urban system, increasing the complexity and efficiency. Under this scenario, the urban agriculture has a big role. So, talking about urban agriculture, it is expected that the paradigm of agriculture change from a model where the agriculture is responsible of the 30% of the total global emissions, where the current model generates food access issues because of the lack of communication, of the increasing restrictions that rural areas have to for communicating with cities. The model will change to a sustainable model, to a resilient model of cities, where citizens can propose, can develop community initiatives, where citizens can propose projects for food distribution, also supported by the municipal, with the municipal support and the municipal planning, providing articulation plans, for example. For what? For use, for for use all the spaces available inside cities. Spaces like the community gardens or gardens in public institutions or windows and terraces in order to generate enough food for the citizens. This kind of model will ensure that in the future the urban agriculture will supply between 5 and 7.5% of the vegetables required on the city. Now I wish to present you some real examples about resilient cities. Let me start with the case of La Habana, Cuba, in the Caribbean region. How the city becomes resilient. The story starts in the end of the last century. Because of some kind of restrictions, blocking, the Cuban farmers was not able to import fertilizers or seeds for producing, for harvest the soil, all the soil in Cuba. So also in Cuba they have another kind of issues as the lack of supplies for mobilizing the products from rural areas to urban areas. That issues generates a kind of food crisis in the cities. So the citizens, the population from urban areas, start to think how to solve that problem. So they create a kind of beds that, with the support of the public institutions, was installed on rooftops, on open spaces, even in public organizations, free spaces, or non-used spaces, in order to crop. So, regarding to the fertilizers, they decided to start to use organic fertilizers as the compost. In that way is how the name organofónico in Spanish, or organophonic agriculture, born. This is a famous thing in Cuba. This model allows to the citizens, to the community, to share experience and participate in the agricultural activities, and also allows to create new business models and new income sources, like the shown on the screen. Okay, also, that kind of model encouraged the development of local technology because of the lack of external resources. The local technology was supported and increased dramatically in Cuba. The next example comes from South America. This is the case of Quito, the capital of Ecuador. In this case, because of some kind of geographical restrictions, the communities are not able to build edifications around the city because of the slope of the hills is too high. So the municipality decided to take advantage of that open spaces and decided to support the development of the peri-urban agriculture. Also, the municipality of Quito decided to apply the P4 model. On that model, the public and the private organizations supports to the population to start initiatives related to urban agriculture. So, with that model, people are able to produce food for the city. So, making some numbers, the 47% of the products produced around the city are commercialized in the city, and the remaining 53% are consumed by the producers. So this model encourages the sustainability of the agriculture around the city. The next model, the next example comes from Singapore. Here the issue is different than the countries in Latin America. Here the issue is the lack of space. So the government, the Singapore government, decide to support the agricultural activities by encouraging the development of sustainable technology that could be used on agriculture. Is that how many projects arise, like the project named Sky Green Project. This kind of project allows to the Singaporeans to cultivate food even inside buildings. To finalize, I wish to say that we must we must conceive the urban agriculture as the beginning, as the mean, and as the end of the city's resilience. In order to ensure the enough quantity, enough amount of food to the citizens in an eco-friendly and sustainable way. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, George, for your presentation. As you know, due to the network technology development, smart farming is one of the important issues these days. And by the way, I like the green banana from Ecuador. Okay. Thank you, George. And our next speaker is Cher Mochalisi from ITPP in Kais, a lecturer in University of Guatemala. Sorry for my pronunciation.
My name is Msirisi Chara from ITTP. I come from South Africa. My presentation today is focused on the development policy, which is our driver into our vision of a digital society, a digital economy. So that's a brief profile of my country. We come from the lowest bottom of the southern part of Africa. So, as I said, my presentation is based on the development policy, which will drive us into the digital economy, a digital society. And it was motivated by the report that came out in 2016 from the World Economic Forum, which declared that the world is entering the fourth industrial revolution. And this fourth industrial revolution is characterized by new technologies. And these are the technologies that will take us into our vision of a digital economy, a digital society. And among those which are a great part of the 4IR are the IoT, which is very close to my heart. But my president, the president of the country, is looking into artificial intelligence. So this is just an overview of where we come from with the industry. Now that we are saying we are in the fourth industry, we started bare work from the steam. We went into electricity thanks for that. Otherwise, I don't know into what dark cities we would be living. And then we went into computers, internet, and now we are entering into these new technologies. So here I just gave an overview of, like in our journey to new development, we want to conscientize our people of why is it important to enter into 4IR, why is it important to enter into digital society. So these are the benefits that we use to attract our people and inform them, because an informed society is the society that can work very well. And so that we see that among those benefits, mainly for the manufacturing, there is a lot which gets quality, speed, flexibility, and productivity. So these are still the benefits. Now, this is the main important part that I was talking about, that we are using I'm going to present the development policies, which I believe when you see these policies, they will be they will ease your attention, they will ease your insecurities, and you'll be attracted to that, and maybe then we can collaborate with us, to work with us into this journey of digital era. So our three main pillars in our integrated ICT policy are digital transformation, of which it involves the e-government framework, digital access, of which the plan is to establish, enhance our ICT infrastructure that would be universal to everyone in the country with ease of access. And then everyone should be digitally included. We don't want to leave anyone, as our national policy is to include everyone in this journey. As we can see here, this picture here, it means unity. We want to work in unity. We don't want to leave everyone. For our economy is known to be a dual economy with high inequality rates, and our national development plan is to reduce that inequality, to reduce poverty. So, and our government, good for that, believes that with the use of ICT effectively, we can now move into the new era of digital economy. If we use ICT properly, it will enable us to get to where we want to get to. And the main concern is that we want to build an infrastructure that will be universal to everyone, be easily accessible, meet our people's requirements, the business and everyone. That's why I'm saying, with these policies that I'm presenting here, I believe that they will attract you and you'll be able to collaborate with us. Come. So this is still a development from our integrated ICT policy, showing our value chain with the strategies that when we are together, then we start from the networks, we enhance our networks, we enhance our services, so that at the end, everybody will be happy. We mainly want to enhance our ICT infrastructure. That is our policy for the fourth industrial revolution, of which its main vision, main objective is to include everybody in the country without any inequalities, without any discrepancies. For we know that we have a legacy from which we inherited from the previous historical political structures that are still impeding us to progress. What are our perspectives on 4IR? We are very eager and very much looking to enter into the 4IR, and we would like you to collaborate with us so that we can enter there as fit warriors into this revolution. And our president is very, very eager into this 4IR and has formed a commission which he is the head of it, that he will work together with that commission to formulate more strategies, more frameworks that will enable us to enter into the 4IR effectively and efficiently. And then we look into the supply side of the policies. What can we produce? The infrastructure, the competencies, a universal access, and then the demand from our people, demand from the investors, then we also shall be included into that. Then we know that, as we say, that ICT is an enabler for employment, but then without education, there's no development that can happen in any country. So we also have some ICT policies for higher education in our country that were developed way back in the 1990s, although the system is not like really working well. So we hope from now on, with your collaboration with us, with your help with us, we are going to be able to utilize the ICTs that we have, work well with the policies that we have in our universities. For the main purpose of the universities is to provide, to respond to the skills needed, and as I'll be moving further, I will see the skills that we need for IR. Now, some of the universities have already responded to the call from our president to engage into the planning of the 4IR strategies and policies. And amongst them, we've got the University of the Western Cape, which is already offering an accredited diploma for its postgraduate students to improve their skills. We also have the University of Johannesburg, which is also reviewing its curricula, because we believe that for this new industrial revolution, we need skills that will meet with the requirements of the new technologies that are going to be used. So some universities have already taken some action, and then also the University of Pretoria has declared partnership to develop and sustain secure artificial intelligence. The University of Witwatersrand, which is known as BEPS, is engaging also into development of tech space focusing on transformative technology. It's also exploring some ethical and human rights in terms of the robots that are being used. How ethical are those to, especially to the health of the people? So those are also the developments that we are taking. These are the skills that we are saying. If we don't educate our people, if we don't educate our society, then we might not be able to meet these skills. And then, are we ready as South Africa to now to enter into this revolution? Are we fit for this revolution? So some assessments have been made by the well-known Network Readiness Index 2020, which has shown some good results about South Africa, that yes, it is ready. Although there are some, like Deloitte, argues that South Africa is at the very foundation stage. But the Network Readiness Index really shows that South Africa has improved, and it's really like ready, especially in terms of the infrastructure. The only thing that is lagging behind is the ICT skills. Those are the things that we are looking more into, that would like some collaboration for help on that. Then based on the indicators that they were showing, they did a study on 124 countries, and South Africa was ranked 76 on the readiness for the 4IR, which shows that we are ready, we can collaborate and work in any industry with anyone. So these are the statistics, and it shows the strengths in which we are. For future technology, we are ready. We are ranked 48 for inclusion, ICT inclusion, digital inclusion. We are also ready. Trust, regulations, and access. We are ready. It was only the SDGs that we are very weak in, that we should work on. So this is also showing how ready we are for the fourth industrial revolution. Then I just highlighted a few challenges that we still want we need to work on. Basically, it's the ICT infrastructure. It's there, But then it seems like mainly it's not extending to the rural areas. I was impressed by one of the speakers who was showing how to get to the lives of those in the rural areas, especially in terms of education, as I'm also in education. And our president believes that we are a nation of the future. And yes, we shall get there. We shall be a nation of the future. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. We could see the strong leadership from the government side for this digital transformation and to boom up the fourth industrial revolution in South Africa. And I wish we have some chance to, deal with some challenges together to collaborate both countries. And thank you again. Our next speaker is Agus Arimbawa from ITPP in Seoul National University. He is a lecturer of University in Latvia.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, all. I'm so honored to be here in front of our professors and our college. Thank you very much. Today, I want to talk about, it is a little bit different than previous. As a lecturer, I want to see some evidence from, fortunately we have data in Indonesia. Fortunately, we start to have some kinds of open data. So I want to get the data and let the data talk on something. Okay? This is about on the network side of organizational culture and university research performance in Indonesia. So, what is the motivations of this research? As a public research and development institutions, universities always being preserved to have innovation generations and in our knowledge-based economy. So this will be important to us to understand why and how this innovation can be performed. And also organizational culture and creativities and also innovations, kind of like a triple spiral that comes each other and strengthening each other. And this research is also part of my research, my thesis research, how to strengthen how to increase universities' research performance through collaborative and value co-creations in open innovation environment. So, what is the connection between what we so-called organizational culture and creativities and also innovations? Once people say that positive culture can create and promote creativities, and creativity is needed by the innovation. Maybe not all innovation come, not creativity leads to innovation, but innovation always comes from creativity. Yeah. What we are going to find here is about to analyze Indonesian research collaboration culture and creativity based on the social network analysis. What's the questions? So the question is, what is the research collaboration culture in Indonesia? How far Indonesia can perform the culture? We are going to talk about only from the network side, not all of the culture, only from the collaboration. And then what is the relationship between collaboration cultures and the research performance in Indonesia? And then how these network characteristics influence the university's research performance. And then in the last, how creativity influence this research performance. Yeah, we need to find those of the answer to conclude what we have to do in the end to promote the innovation. First, maybe we want to talk about what is the network size of what is the network size of this culture? Yeah, based on Dalker in 2011, the first dimensions of the culture is sociability. The sociability is measure the friendliness and tends to have a full network structure with points, so all point connection. It means that everyone in this room needs to perform some kinds of collaborations in some way to the other people in this room, all of us. And then the other thing is about the solidarity. Solidarity is about we tend to make collaboration just when needed. Performing networks only to finish the task, and then network can be not fully connected. No obligation for each node to connect to all of the network's members. And what is the creativities? And what is the network size of the creativities? These creativities, we borrowed the creativities from one that researchers named Yuzi and Spiro in 2005. They are conducting the research about connected and cohesion in a relationship with the performance. In that time, they are talking about the opera. Yes, yeah, quite interesting, the research. And then what is the connection? This is maybe this is phenomenon is new for me. We're going to talk in the knowledge management perspective. We have sociability and also solidarity together to perform 4 quadrants of the space, which from the fragmented mercenary networks and also communal. But the other, in our left-hand side, we have a social network analysis. It also performed the same way. So I have an idea here to how to measure this with this network using social network analysis. And then this is the equation come from the researchers. And then this is for creativity. The creativity is about how some group per group performing another connection. Maybe in terms of universities, one department, computer science departments, and also maybe environmental science departments, and also different departments can work together to solve some things. So when they reflect that phenomenon, then we can conclude that they have some kinds of creativity. So this creativity will be measured by some known as the small word coefficients. So where's the methodology? We have here sociability and solidarities and knowledge management theories, and then we also can measure what is the state of Indonesian universities' organizational culture, whether they are missionary or fragmented or so on. And also we measure the culture degrees, so we can put together in one dimension, so we can do some correlation analysis between those elements. This is the basics. So we we will measure the network with the densities of the network and also connectedness of the network. We are going to pursue the best culture is number one. Number one, where people working together. Each of us will work together as a team, but that will not be possible if we have thousands of researchers. So, what is the best part of the best forms from these large organizations? What is the best forms that remains unsolvable? And then we have data. The data come from 30 top universities. We have more than 30 universities. We have thousands of universities in Indonesia. Luckily we have some data, but this is the small part that I'm going to show. There is a lot of things also we can find on that data. No, I can understand why the data is so important for us. And then what else? We also search for the research articles. The research articles come from the government-funded research project with the article published in Indonesian official websites. What's this data about? As I said before, the data is so we have so many data, and we can filter some of them to find which one is suitable for our research. How is the data gathering? The data gathering comes from the source of once maybe the data is open, but the data at the time is only for humans to read. It's almost useless. In this kind, I also realized that how can we standardize the data for the computer can recognize the data and can read the data is also important. So maybe in these times I just scroll them and also have some data cleansings, and then we can get the data. What is the collaborations? This is some examples of research collaborations where some of the researchers can work together producing one article, and the other times one or some of them will also work with the other article. So they have connection. That connections will performed by the one research to the other research, and then we can have the research collaboration networks. And also in the yellow things, that the network that performs by one of universities in Indonesia. And then this is the data. And then what we have from the data, from the culture space, the collaboration culture is performing from fragmented to mercenary. There is no university can perform the communals or the networks. Still something we need to do there to promote this collaboration. And then what's the correlation between the numbers of researchers and universities' rank on research? They're strongly correlated. We know that will be correlated. The bigger the university, the powerful, the more powerful they become. And then what is the connection between connectedness? Connectedness and their university rank, and also correlated so well. So we know that the correlations or the connection between researcher to researcher can benefit to the rank, but for the density is not so. It is not so well. Maybe it would because of there will be so hard to maintain the network densities in a big organization. And also what we have from culture to performance. And in this culture, related to the performance, it is also correlated moderately. So it is really good, but yeah, we see that some correlation there. So we can conclude that maybe we need to maintain the degrees of this network collaborations. And then what is correlation between the small word coefficients is, which we mentioned before, is the creativities of the researcher in relation to the research performance. This also supported by the previous theories about where it should be like a U-shape, but this data maybe not look like U-shape, but somehow it is related. But what we also found here is that the small word coefficient is so low. It is so low. It is 0.14 for the maximum. As we know, the maximum small wordness coefficient is about 3. From 0 to 3. So there is a lot of opportunity here to perform to promote the creativities of the research collaboration. So with this, what can we discuss here? Research activity in influences many factors, not only about the collaboration, but also to perform, to build the stronger capability to research is also needed. But in the other way, it's also good to have a strong capability to research and also the creativities of the research in this time. Okay, and then the high level of density is not so, it is not so performed well because of the lot of efforts to maintain density. And then what we got here. At the end, we end up in the same conclusion as our friends before say that innovation, we need to push more and more innovation. We need to push more kinds of creativity in the university, even in university. So what we will have here in the implications. University directors should push their researchers to be more creative through research collaboration, with not only within a lab or department, but also the other department in the same university, even maybe in the other universities, but we are not talking about that. But we strongly recommend that this research, this collaboration needs to be continued. The more we need to more conducting applied research science. So it is also aligned with the ideas of maybe living labs in the universities, or in the universities that performs like from the students, by the students, and also for the students, similar to what we have in a smart city, because we also want to see that universities can be a smart city. University can also be some kind of like a regulatory sandbox where the environment is so perfect to create innovation, and after that we can also perform this innovation to the city. Yeah, where usually the city is close to university, we have the same culture, we have the same people, we have the same problems, so it will be suitable for jumping from the university to the city. Okay, that's all. Thank you very much for listening.
Okay, thank you, Agus. And thank you for the sharing the idea of your research. And I hope you can extend your research to collaboration, to see the performance, collaboration, research collaboration between Korea and Indonesia as well. And by the way, do you know that we have the first place for the GSTV is in the Lombok in Indonesia? You know that? So since then, we have such kind of collaboration together, right? Okay, thank you, Agus. And our last but not least presenter is Peshome Udajo from ITTP in KAIST. He is the Director General, Federal Ministry of Science and Higher Education Center in Ethiopia.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Professor, for the introduction. I'm going to give you a kind of information, not to bother you, the existing strategy or familiarizing this Ethiopian new strategy, which is introduced after 8 years of having the policy of technology, innovation, and science, introduced last August. This is content I'm going to address. Unfortunately, Kasaon did introduction of the country background, but I only show you the information. Ethiopia is in the East Africa, on Horn Africa, into the Middle East and other parts of Africa. And it is population, of course, Kasaon take the latest data, so you can take that, but this is UN data, so can take. Ethiopia is a second populous country in the African region, African continent, and its area also 1.14 million square kilometers. So you can see how much potential is there. We do have economic indicator data, a lot, and the trend shows promising, growing, but not satisfactory as such. But we have to transform our economy from analog to digital. That the government decided to develop this strategy. This strategy development, to my knowledge, Korean government and some ministries in Korea also participated on the study developing. This is social indicator data about education, about population and health issues. This is also relevant for that my presentation. The environmental data, particularly the last, you can see the tourists. One of the potential of Ethiopia to grow is tourism. Ethiopia can generate nearly $43 billion per year only from tourism. There are different destinations. So this digital strategy also focusing on that. And the other is the individual using of internet also growing. Now we reach in 2019 nearly 19%. When I during my preparation, it catch me the 2016 World Bank report on digital dividend. This diagram, schematic diagram, of course. You can read it. What do you mean by digital transformation? How the idea comes? The idea comes, as I understand this, when you see divide. The divide issue is three things, and then what a dividend? The dividend is a balancing, a complementing between spreading of benefit and the risks. So this strategy is considered. So in this regard, the quality of complementance and technology rise with economy relation. Ethiopia is, you can see it at very low place, nearly 0.3, and when you compare to other countries, which is fast growing and transformed digitally. So technology can do in three ways. We can, inclusiveness, efficiency, and innovation. We have to consider our policy on science, technology, and innovation. Do a lot for last 8 years before this strategy in place. So it's a good ground. This is when this strategy developed as a country. We have seen how the country, where is the countries? Some countries are digital analog economy, as others reach already like South Korea, and others reach on digital economy. So this move is a gap still. So how to catch up all these differences? This strategy has 4 parts in terms of digital economy framework, which is the country's latest development. One is the infrastructure, the second one is the enabling system, and the third one is application, the fourth one is ecosystem. I should not go through all this, but this is the framework of the digital economy Ethiopia is looking for. The national strategy has 4 paths. These 4 paths based on thorough study and practice, examining the practice in the last. The first one is, since this country's potential is economy is based on agriculture, let's unleash the value from agriculture first. Because we take South Korea as a benchmark. How South Korea reached now this position? How the agriculture changed here? And then we have to first tap the potential there. Already we have started. The second one is next version of global value chain in manufacturing. I read one article, one publication that, well, look, the manufacturing first migrate to the East Asia and China. Now is going back, looking back to home, to the West. But on the way, it will go to Africa. Africa is a hub of manufacturing. Ethiopia is the one in the East Africa. So we have started labor-based technology manufacturing for the last nearly 10 years. So we have to change to the next level, this one. Third one is building IT-enabled services. Fourth one is digital as a driver of tourism competitiveness to tap the potential to get the economy. So the economy can be transformed through this. Let's quickly see one by one these 4 ways. The Ethiopian pathway one is, as I said, is unleashing the value from agriculture. Digital technology have been successfully used to support agricultural productivity in various ways. That is world practice shows us, and also I'll show later some practice in our own case in different way. So we have to make particularly precision and vertical farming, which uses IoT, drone technology, blockchain, and other technologies. So this is why I titled, the title is a move toward smart technology through this strategy. So where Ethiopia can succeed, what is the opportunity you have is that one is building the digital agricultural platform. Second one is support and incentive agricultural technology entrepreneurs. These days, many graduates come out from universities, but they are not getting employed. So we have to use this. And then this strategy will be very helpful to link this graduates to the world of work or to the labor market. Second one is the next version of global value chain and manufacturing. Now we are, as I said, we are the companies from foreign direct investment as well as domestic are using labor-based technologies. But particularly the apparel sector, which have a potential on it, and some of, I don't know the number exactly, in different places, the Korean companies also participating, very giant Korean companies and American companies. But they are using labor, so we have to change this to the digital production system. This will oblige us to introduce a new communication system in the production area. So this is one. So the other is reskilling the existing labor and develop a skilled workforce, starting from the higher education to the lower level, fitting into the this developing this manufacturing, particularly for apparel sector. Ethiopia has adopted since 3 years back the industrial park system by studying the Korean case with Korean experts. We have, for manufacturing, we have about 9, and we have 17 agro-processing. All this has to be in line with this new strategy. Otherwise, we cannot move fast. So this new next version of global value chain in manufacturing is what this strategy is assuming. So where success will be, or the opportunity, some future of proving Ethiopia's apparel export sector is now needed, because a lot of order comes from a different world, but we cannot produce it by that amount. So we have to change. We have to produce. Sometimes companies told us, we got order, but we cannot produce with this much euro, this much dollar. So we have to change. We have to be able in a position to compute. So fast, reliable internet connectivity also has to be developed. The government is working on this one. By the way, I didn't mention all this timeline is set, a project is developed, assignment is given with relevant stakeholders. They are doing their best. The short term is 18 months, the mid term is 3 years, and the long term is 5 years. So up to 2025, we have to move fast and catch up by applying this strategy to transform the economy, not only the economy, digitally transform the economy. Second one is, from this point of view, is enhancing the digital enabled logistic management approach for manufacturing to be competitive. Particularly one missed point is how this commerce issues undertaking through e-commerce. Ethiopia lagging behind. As you can see in the index, the current index, 2017, I do have one, Ethiopia is 141, it's the lowest. But the other African, when you compare, they are in a good position. So Ethiopia needs to accelerate initiatives to close the e-commerce readiness gap, including policy and regulatory measures, potential timeline, and so set for this one. Third pathway is building the IT-enabled service system. This is where Ethiopia can succeed, really, by looking into demand, supply, and intermediate between demand and supply. IT-enabled services, much like other high productive sectors such as tourism, creative industries, and ICT sector, self-prominently urban and employees individuals with tertiary education. In the urban areas, the literacy rate is also in a good position, particularly like Addis, it's about 80%. But at an average, it's about 52. We, from low level, we reach in the last 2 decades, 52.17, around that literacy rate. So we have to provide for this, according to infrastructure for high potential talent centers. And second one is reframing and operationalizing the IT park. We have established the IT park, which is taken from different countries' model, but we didn't operationalize. So this is also one of our move to change this area. The fourth one is digital as a driver of tourism competitiveness, as I say. This you can see from the map. Ethiopia is from north to south. There are many places. These are the major ones, but we have different places to visit in Ethiopia because the nature itself is attractive. Some historical places are also good potential for tourism, but this is very traditional, so we have to change that into IT. So we can see that where Ethiopia is in the impact of digital on tourism competitiveness, it is at a low level. You can see from the graph. So neighboring country like Kenya is in a good position, South Africa. So we have to work to change this using this strategy. So what are the practices? The practice and using toward the move to smart technologies. One is a mobile health model, supportive Ethiopian health strategy is already the practice and project. It's more than 5 years, I guess, the timing. Because of the internet penetration increases from time to time, as you can see from the graph, the data of 2016 reach when you see around 2000, this is almost nil. So we, in 16 years, if we grow, but we should have to tap the potential of the internet penetration and the ICT technology. Second one is already for smart tourism system architecture design is developed to practice this way. This also very gives us confidence to implement the strategy in this area. The other is on the case of agriculture, one project which is supported by European Union and initiated by Farm Africa, not only for Ethiopia. Currently, this project of climate smart agriculture for Malawi also, which is a target group is 20,000, is under implementation. It changes, it brings very satisfactory results. So this can be scaled up with a strategy for PAS 1 I mentioned earlier. This one is the latest one. This is an AI center which is inaugurated by our Prime Minister. And this is started with initiative of few people, particularly you can read in 2018, Bethlehem Dese, after she visited America and get some, she developed first AI laboratory in the Ministry of Science and Technology at that time, but currently it is the Ministry of Innovation and Technology, which is really working hard and working on developing a robot named Sophia. Sophia is a name touring around the world. So every year we have ICT Expo to encourage people to be digitally knowledgeable. So with this, after this, the government established the center by the regulation of the Ministry of Council by January 24, 2020, and inaugurated in September 20. But here, this is the area, one very critical area we can collaborate with companies here, because Ethiopia cannot have a capacity to establish the company for AI technology, but we established. So this is a study already done by others. So one is promising one. The other is a smart gridding solution. It's already started with Chinese company to solve the electric management, network management. So this is also promising. So we can apply more technologies in this area. But for the time being, Huawei supporting us, working with the authority, EU, Ethiopian Electric Utility. Regarding the big data, there is an attempt and working on since 2015 that the Ministry of Trade and Industry identified more than 700 computer technology companies and about 95 software businesses which are generally active, both domestically and abroad. And 48 of these companies will be vitally important for further development of IT sector in Ethiopia, including big data application for the agricultural sector. The other is latest studies shows that Ethiopian Telecommunication Corporation by itself, Agricultural Transformation Agency, payment system like Hello Cash, and Ethiopian Educational Network, which is under my ministry, sister organization of my center, were considered as case studies here as a potential to develop big data technology in Ethiopia. So the rest of the smart technology can be, I think, included. So finally, I can summarize this. The digital strategy introduced by Ethiopian government enabled to strengthen, sustain, and scale on going effort in deploying more smart technologies where we can cooperate. Large-scale implementation of this strategy to realize digital transformation will enforce more smart technology come in to be deployed. And then strategy implementation demand more capacity building, cooperation, and partnership. So once more, I want to show you the World Bank schematic representation of this divide and digital dividend issue about complements. So we have to move from the low level of complement to the higher level very quickly. Otherwise, we will not exist economically. Competition is very high. So thank you so much. This is all about what I want to talk.
Thank you, Mr. Udajo, for your presentation. As you know, Ethiopia is one of the fast-growing country among the African countries, and now we can expect more the development for the future in Ethiopia in 5 years. And thank you for everyone. I think we are just in time. And for the closing remark, let's welcome Professor Siheung again with a big round of applause.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests and scholars, alumni and students of ITPP and ITTP, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for participating Global Innovation Seoul Forum 2020. This year's theme is Development for Future, and it has been a great honor for me to be able to discuss and share the ideas of future development and innovations in the era of pandemic with all the participants of this forum. First of all, especially from the excellent keynote speakers, we could have learned various perspectives and insights of use of artificial intelligence in emerging countries, energy for the design of our future, and new normal and new development strategy for our future in the era of fourth industrial revolution under the threat of COVID-19. Secondly, we have had wonderful presentations and discussions from the industry on the future of telecommunications, future of smart radar systems, future of software solutions for smart vehicles, and future of proactive protection of cyber threat. Lastly, we could have had shared the experiences and insights of our ITPP and ITTP alumni, students, and partners from all over the world on the future directions of our education systems, tri-sector strategy, urban agriculture systems, and digital strategy for smart technology in the era of digital transformation. Yes, as we have done today, we need collaboration for our future development, which is the main theme of this forum, especially in this pandemic period for facing post-COVID-19 era. As we have experienced through this crisis period, we definitely need global collaborations. Without these global collaborations, we cannot efficiently overcome this pandemic period and catch up the future development. Thus, we need to, and we have to, create synergies through our co-work, alliances, and partnerships so that we can achieve our successful future development. That is why we are here from all over the world, both online and offline. In the long run, through our network and collaborations, I strongly believe that our Global Innovation Seoul Forum will be an wonderful asset for our future growth and development of our society. Again, thank you all for being here together and actively participating in this wonderful forum today. Before closing my words, I'd like to appreciate the people who have been working behind our scene, such as Professor Yoon, Professor Song from ITPP, all ITPP and ITTP steps, student assistants, and others. Could you please give them a big round of applause? Thank you very much. I hope to see you again next year at the Global Innovation Seoul Forum 2021, and I wish you all have a blessed day today. Thank you.
At every moment, what we dream becomes new realities. We dream a new paradigm of human civilization that will bring prosperity, health, safety, resilience, and sustainability to the whole global community. But on the pathway to the shift to the new global paradigm, we face challenges that we have to go through and beyond. To overcome these obstacles, what should we do? What are the opportunities? Global Research and Development Business Center is where you can develop answers. GRC is the epicenter of global integration for the global transformation towards smart, sustainable world. As a strategic arm of Seoul National University, GRC is here to work with all the nations and partners to realize the vision for the fourth Industrial Revolution. Beyond the digital era, we are now advancing toward the world of new civilization by integrating the digital and humanity. The new civilization will be the world of true human solidarity, reciprocity, equity, and integrity for all nations and all peoples. Founded in 2019, GRC has been the global platform for education, R&D partnership, international and industrial cooperation, and international conference. Its international technology professional programs is the strong basis to cultivate global leaders as policymakers, ICT business leaders, technology innovators, academic scholars, and form a collaborative global network with GRC. As of 2019, over 320 people from 76 countries acquired master's or PhD degrees through ITPP program starting in 2003.
Today I can say that I'm very proud to be an ITPP alumni. To have the opportunity to live in Korea and graduate from this program allowed me to become a better professional to create innovative IT policy solutions.
I'm proud to be ITPP SNU alumni. I would like to use this opportunity to thank all ITPP family, all my professors, in particular Professor Chosuk Wang.
I chose ITPP program because I believe that the technology can create opportunities for the developing countries which are lagging behind.
ITPP program was very interesting for me and very unique, and being disciplinary program which combine many fields together in one program.
ITPP Programs is endeavoring to help students know more about Korea through special activities with cultural stimulus including Korean language education, and implement field studies, internship programs, academic activities, and SNU lifestyle. GRC has flourishing various outstanding leadership in their areas of expertise through ITPP program. Through the R&D partnership, GRC plays a crucial role in driving smart innovations for the advancement of global societies. GRC is the hub of information, knowledge, and intelligence in the field of smart city, global open innovation, and green transformation. International and industrial cooperation enable GRC to help all experts ideate and develop initiatives, creating new value for the innovation of society, science, and technology. '20 is the landmark year for Green Smart Development and Vision, GSVD, conference, marking its 10th event. GSDV has been the open global communities to realize global R&D innovation. GRC will continue its effort to break down the barriers between countries and sectors and integrate the knowledge and technology ecosystems across borders, cultures, and societies, working as the hub for global innovation. Together, we can create truly meaningful impact to the world.
Welcome
Come and join us. We invite you all, you, the leaders of global innovation.